welcome this morning to another edition of the Schooner Estates Talk Show. I'm your host, Mark Prevo, and I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I am here right now with Richard Hooper and Marion Dover. They just moved into apartment 328, and we're going to find out a little bit about them today. Welcome, both of you, to Schooner Estates' little get-to-know-you show.
Thank you.
Good, nice to have you. So, tell us, maybe one at a time, where were you born?
I was born in Fort City, Pennsylvania.
Fort City, Pennsylvania.
Yes,
Whereabouts is that? Is that east or west?
it's in western Pennsylvania,
Western
and
Pennsylvania.
it was PPG Glass Company was located there years ago.
It must have been just outside of Pittsburgh, maybe.
Well,
Over in the west.
more than about 30 miles.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
No, it
yeah.
isn't.
Very nice. And how about you, Dick?
Well, I was born in Wellesley, Massachusetts, which is about 13 miles from Boston,
Right?
and grew up there, went to Wellesley schools and through the 11th grade, and then I went to Hebron Academy.
Wow, Hebron Academy.
Yeah,
I referee ice hockey there quite a bit.
really?
Yeah, they have a brand new rink, and when I was a child, they had the outdoor rink. You probably remember that.
I remember an old indoor rink that in the spring of 1952, it collapsed under the weight of snow.
Yes, that's it.
And we were very fortunate we weren't in there because I was on the hockey team at the time, and it was noontime, so we were out of the arena, luckily.
Boy, that was lucky, because you wouldn't be here right now.
They had a second arena, Mark, and it also collapsed, I believe.
Yeah.
And they had the outdoor.
The outdoor.
And now they've got a much better facility.
Oh, beautiful now.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I remembered you. I think I was refereeing some of your games and gave you some penalties.
Well, these were back in 1800. Well, 1952, you were refereeing?
No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
kidding.
kidding.
Okay.
But wouldn't that be something? Oh, that's funny. Well, that's a great story. And so where did you grow up? If you grew up in Hebron, born in Massachusetts, grew up in Hebron.
Well, I didn't grow up in Hebron. I went there a couple of years, and from there I went to Bates College.
And to Bates, wonderful.
Yeah.
And Marion, how about you?
I went to Fort City High School, graduated, went on to nursing school. It was diploma at that time, and graduated, went on for my BSN and my master's in business. I was also one of the people, one of the owners, not owners, one of the few people that started the Emergency Nurses Association, and here I am today.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic. Do you folks have any children, or are there siblings or brothers, sisters, or anything around close by, or?
No, I have a sister and a brother, and they live around Fort City, Katanning, Pennsylvania. And children, well, I was lucky to have one daughter,
Yep, very nice.
and she graduated with honors, so.
I'm sure she's very smart. How about you, Richard?
Well, I had two children, one of whom was deceased back 10 years ago. So I have a son remaining, and my brother passed away a couple of years ago. So we had a very small family, Mark.
Right,
And,
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of small families today. It's not like it used to be.
right.
Yeah. And your career path, Dick, what did you do?
Career?
Yeah.
Well, the majority of my career was in healthcare management. I was one of the founders and the first CEO of Androscoggin Home Health, where I was for some 13 years. Later on, I was vice president at Stevens Memorial Hospital. And while I was there, I managed a nursing home, which is, interesting enough, is now owned by the owner of Schooner Estates, John.
That's
Russell.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. Market Square?
Right, Market
Yeah,
Square.
yeah. So you must have known Dr. Med up there. Dr. Med,
Dr. Med, certainly,
his mom lived here for many, many years.
you know.
Yeah, I knew Ruth Med, I knew her very well. Yeah, well, that's great. And how about you, Marion? Your career?
My career was I helped found emergency nurses.
Yeah,
Also worked to organize and staff and teach at a 100-bed general hospital. And from there, I just went on and on.
wow.
I loved it. Nursing
Yeah.
was my hang-up.
Yeah, yeah. I will say, of all the nurses I've met, they all love their job. They're the special people that love to help people.
Well, it's a great thing to do because a lot of times you feel at least rewarded some of the time.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about maybe some of your hobbies or your interests or passions.
Well, my interest was mainly nursing.
Yeah,
And I lived in day for nursing and achieved a lot. I have a family, a daughter, but you know, I still go back to nursing if I could. I retired at the age of 73, but I loved it.
yeah, yeah. When you love what you do, I always say it's not working. When you love what you do. Yeah. Dick, any hobbies or anything?
Well,
Interests?
Yes, I do. I enjoy reading nonfiction, biographies and history books by people such as David McCullough and John Meacham and others. Until I got a lousy hip, but until that point several years back, I used to walk vigorously, even maybe a couple of times a day. Hobbies, I really never developed what I'd call a hobby. Reading is not a hobby, it's a passion.
Mm-hmm.
But I managed to keep busy until up to now, working around the yard, making the yard look good.
Right.
Was very rewarding.
Yeah, yeah.
And plus, physically good for us to be out there working on our hands and knees and what have you.
It's
So I
true.
miss that now, but time marches on, and so it's good here because we, like so many people our age, become more and more vulnerable, less and less capable, and so the people here and the facility itself are very helpful to us, and I'm sure others would say the same thing. We really have enjoyed being here so far. It's not like being home. There, folks all say that, but you can't go home again. And so we are adopting this as our new home.
So well said and so well put. I've heard that for so many years that
Sure.
it's the second best place
Yeah.
to live. If
Yeah.
you can't be home and totally in charge of all your own things and being able to do your own landscaping or painting or anything like that,
Right.
it's the second best place to be. Well, that's great. Is there anything before we end today that you would like your neighbors to know or about you folks or?
Well, we look forward to meeting people. We've met a number of people we've enjoyed talking with casually. And I think as time goes on, we'll develop some new friendships here, which should be pretty rewarding, Mark. And so that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people.
You're so right.
Yeah.
I will tell you that the people here are very friendly, including the patients. and the employees. And I enjoy that because I don't feel like an outsider.
That is great to hear. And I'll tell you, we are usually a lot more outgoing than we are during this worldwide pandemic.
True.
We have to be so careful, as you know, wearing masks and keeping our distance. And I always say social distancing is the wrong term. It's the last thing we want people to do is socially distance from one another. But physical distancing is so important.
That's
Keeping that 6 foot, at least 6 foot, they're saying it can go even further now. And people are asymptomatic, so you have to be very careful. But social distancing is not what we want people to do. We want them to call on the phone and keep socially in touch with one another, either via phone or Skype or FaceTime or Duo or whatever the means are, even old-fashioned writing. Quite a few tenants have told me that they've gotten some letters in the mail from their children or friends or brothers or sisters, and I love to sit down and write a good letter every now and then, mail it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We used to do a lot of letter writing before all our great technology, Mark.
I know the
The
technology.
technology has actually driven us apart.
It has.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
yeah, I agree. Well, I hope that you continue to settle in, and I hope you folks enjoy it here
I do.
as you have so far. I hope that only grows.
Good. Well,
And
thank you.
Oh, I
You'll do
know it
very
will.
well. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Well, today's guests, we enjoyed them very much and learned a lot more about them. Richard Hooper and Marion Dover, apartment 328. We hope to see a lot more of them around, and we want you to remember that every Tuesday and Thursday morning on Schooner's own channel, 1390, you can tune in for an interview with more people to see and get to hear them, what they look like, and a little bit about their history. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.